I just spent the last 2 weeks printing a full set of replacement parts for my old printer on a cheap desktop machine that looked great on paper, only to realize halfway through that the bed leveling was so inconsistent I had to babysit every print. That's the exact frustration this Prusa MK4S bundle is designed to wipe out, because the headline specs promise automatic calibration and one-click printing, but the real win is that it actually delivers on them in real life. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. What sold me wasn't the 250 mm per second speed or the 0.05 mm layer claim, it was the fact that Prusa ships this as a DIY kit you can build over a weekend and still get near out-of-the-box reliability. If you've ever wrestled with a kit that arrived missing half the screws or spent hours tweaking PID values, you'll appreciate that the MK4S handles bed mesh calibration automatically and starts printing with a single click. That's not marketing fluff, it's the difference between printing a calibration cube while you watch Netflix versus printing it while you debug why the first layer keeps peeling. The bundle throws in the original Prusa enclosure, which is more than a plastic box. If you plan to run high-temp filaments like PETG or ASA, the enclosure knocks down both odor and noise, so you're not clearing the room every time you start a print. I've used cheaper enclosures that rattled like a washing machine on spin cycle. This one bolts together solidly and the hinged door actually stays shut. The only real trade-off is that the enclosure ships disassembled, so if you're not comfortable with an Allen key you'll need to set aside another half hour. It's not a deal-breaker, but it's worth factoring into your weekend build plan. Who should buy this bundle? If you're the kind of person who wants a machine that works without daily fiddling and you're okay assembling it yourself, this is one of the few kits where the manual actually matches the reality. Teachers running a classroom, hobbyists who hate tinkering, and small studios that need consistent first layers every time will get the most mileage. If you'd rather buy a fully built and tested unit, Prusa offers that too, just know you'll pay a premium and wait longer for shipping. Who should skip it? If you need a plug-and-play machine tomorrow and don't want to touch a screwdriver, look elsewhere. If you're printing only low-temp PLA in an open garage where noise and odor aren't issues, the enclosure becomes optional and the kit's value drops. And if you're on a tight budget, the enclosure alone adds significant bulk to the price, so compare it against third-party alternatives before committing. The free sample spool of Prusament PLA is a nice touch for beginners, but don't expect it to last past your first calibration prints. It's enough to confirm the first layer adhesion is rock solid, which is exactly what you want from a starter material. Once you move to your own filaments, the MK4S's PEI spring steel sheet grabs hold without glue or tape, so you can stack multiple small parts without them warping mid-print. One hidden strength shows up when you're printing functional parts: the automatic calibration runs every time you power up, so if the ambient temperature shifts overnight the machine compensates instead of leaving you with a curled corner. That's the kind of reliability you only notice when it's missing on cheaper machines. The only recurring annoyance I ran into was cable management inside the enclosure. The bundled cable ties help, but the printer's own harness still sags a little once the door is closed. It's not enough to stop a print, but it's the kind of niggle that makes you wish Prusa included a proper drag chain or printed clip in the kit. If you're comfortable rerouting the cables yourself, it's an easy fix. If not, just budget 5 minutes to tidy it up before your first ASA print. Overall, this bundle is for builders who want a dependable machine without the daily calibration grind. The enclosure adds real utility if you're pushing into higher temp materials, and the kit format keeps the price in check compared with fully assembled units. Just be honest with yourself about the assembly time and whether you truly need the enclosure before you click buy.